Welcome to I Feel Fat Today. I'm your host, Kelly Taylor. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's a little bit of a different perspective. You're seeing a little different side of my home because I have a new couch in a new area. This isn't permanent. This is just because there are people in the other room. I also don't have my beauty light on, and I don't have a stitch of makeup on or my hair done. So looking real rough, but we're getting through it. Quick intro today. My low-cal sweet treat of the week, that goes out to when plans are canceled. And I know it's hack. I know it's something that people talk about all the time. When I was young, plans getting canceled would devastate me. Literally devastate me. I would be so upset. Now, heroin. Literally. When plans, like, tell me if you relate. When your plans are canceled, and if I'm already dressed up, if I have my makeup on, I'm like 10% annoyed because it's like, oh, I have makeup on. So now I feel pressure to do something, whether it's leave my house or like film something because I just wasted all this makeup. But now, especially with some notice, plans canceled, it's amazing. God, it could be my own wedding. And it gets canceled, I'd be happy. Sorry, that was a lame low-cal sweet treat of the week, but it is what it is. That's just how I'm feeling. Okay, housekeeping. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We are almost at 400 subscribers. So please, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, and you have not subscribed on YouTube yet, please head over there and do that. After you subscribe to us on YouTube, where we have full video episodes, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And if you leave a 5-star review and you show me proof that you left a review, I will send you some state-of-the-art, top of the line I Feel Fat Today stickers so that you can sport your love of the pod on your phone case, on your laptop, on your water bottle. Yeah, that'd be great. Leave me a 5-star review. Let people know that this is a show that people enjoy listening to. Follow us on social media at I Feel Fat Today and at Hello, This is Kelly. And you can send us an email at ifeelfattoday@gmail.com. If you want some advice, I'd be more than happy to give it. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it is a quick intro over here because we have had a crazy past few days. Okay? This latest full moon in Capricorn is putting in some work, okay? Last Saturday, Donald Trump was almost assassinated. This Sunday, Joe Biden drops out of the race. And now Gen Z has declared that Kamala Harris is going to have a brat summer before she wins the presidential election in November. Meanwhile, the psychics on TikTok are saying that there isn't going to be an election at all. God. And you think it's your day job that's causing you to emotionally eat? Build a bunker, bitch, okay? Because it's going down like an emotional support cannoli down your throat. And that's all I have to say. This week's guest, everybody, please welcome Jay Simpson. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with me is my guest, Jay. How you doing, Jay?
What up, Kelly? How you doing? Doing all right?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. And full disclosure to the watcher, I guess, if you're watching this on YouTube, we're doing this on Zoom because I couldn't hang with the heat. I couldn't do it. It's like 100 degrees in New York City. And I was like, we're all flight risks if we're out bopping around unnecessarily. Stay home in the AC. So Jay, I thank you so much for joining me on Zoom.
Oh, dude, thanks for having me. Yeah, thanks for letting me do this in the comfort of my air conditioner.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah, that rules.
Absolutely. I started to become self-conscious about my air conditioner. And I'm like, what if Jay comes and the AC isn't good enough? And then he thinks I live like it's some kind of animal in the heat.
And just sweating. I was like, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm on trial.
No, literally. It's hot yoga in here. Awesome. So Jay, you're a New York City comedian.
Yeah, I guess officially, I guess.
Yes, yes. So where are you from?
I'm from Philly originally.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
cool.
yeah, so like not super far, but definitely one of my favorite cities for comedy. Uh, Especially like I don't know. I'm the only like working musical comedy from Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I guess because all the other comics beat the other ones up. But yeah, I've been up in New York since December, and it's been all right. Been having fun.
Awesome, awesome. So did you grow up in like the outside of Philly or like in Philly?
The outside of Philly.
Outside. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
in the suburbs?
From like Allentown, PA, which is
Oh, okay.
also also has its own myths and legends of violence.
Yeah, no, I somehow know Allentown, Pennsylvania because I'm from Jersey and my dad, God, my dad collects antique trucks and small wheel horse tractors. And so my summers were spent going out to Allentown, Pennsylvania for the various shows that he would do with his trinkets.
Oh,
So,
dude, Macungie, PA, did the Antique
but
Roadshow, Wheels of
dude,
Time,
you know all
all
about
that's
it. You know
oh
about
yeah.
Macungie.
Yeah. Yeah, Bear Swamp, dude. I went to middle school in Macungie.
Okay, awesome. Forgive my ignorance because I'm forgetting, but how far is that from like Amish? Is that not even in the same area?
You can get there in about like 40 minutes.
Oh, okay, so did you like ever
Or
go out to Amish country?
yeah, wait, it's like 40 minutes for like 2 days on a horse and buggy.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, yeah. There's one of the best breakfast buffets. They don't even call it a breakfast buffet. It's called a smorgasbord. I don't know if you
Uh-huh.
ever heard of a smorgasbord. But we used to go on this pilgrimage out to Shady Maple. It's all the way out in like Lancaster. Nothing but cows for miles, but it's literally like they got mountain of bacon. It's a
Dude,
beautiful place.
yeah, the whole reason why I brought it up was to talk about the food because that's like such a memory I have of like being in Amish country and just like it's like the best slice of pie you'll ever have in your life. It's insane. Like they really are churning that butter like on premise. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's all fresh. It's all like farmed like right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, are you an only child? Did you have siblings? What was it like growing up?
I'm the oldest of three.
Okay.
I have two little sisters. Uh, yeah, one is a nurse and the other is a stripper. So we all kind of very. Uh, I think I'm the favorite. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I'm the favorite.
The musical comedian is the favorite. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess when stripper is on the list, then, you know,
She's very successful and very good at
well, there you go. She's
it.
talented. So, like, you guys, like, some people are practical, like being nurses, and then others are, musical comedian strippers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Mom had a wide range of children.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So, when do you recall there being like dieting happening in the house?
Yes. I mean, we all kind of had our issues growing up with all sorts of things.
Okay.
Um, there's history of like bulimia.
Uh-huh.
Um, what growing up, I was one of those like emo kids.
Oh, totally.
So
Same.
I had that manorexia. I had that
Oh, okay.
where
Awesome. Very the academy is. Totally.
yeah. Yeah. I was like, these skinny jeans get better. Gotta stay skinny,
Yeah, dude. If I was a boy and I saw William Beckett, I'd be like,
dude.
that man is, he looked like a toothpick. I'll never forget.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like
Okay. So,
I, it's like, I gotta make out with boys to kiss girls.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was like the
yeah,
that was the
literally.
logic.
Yeah, totally, totally. Okay, so that's interesting. So yeah, so like that kind of like scene, I guess, had influence on how you like wanted to present yourself in that style is to be like super thin.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wanted like the V's, dude. I wanted the
Oh
V's
yeah.
so bad. I got a tattoo there when I had the V's. It's like a heart with a keyhole in it. And now that rocking a dad bod, it just looks like my balls flipped up onto my stomach. You just see the top, and I was like, "Ew, dude, what's that tattoo?"
It's so funny because like when you get tattoos, people always say, "What's that gonna look like when you're in your 60s, 70s, man?" Like, oh, that like, rib tattoo isn't gonna look so good, but you don't really think about the the male V turning into like a weird like ball fupa area.
Yeah, when they said that, I thought they meant wrinkly.
Yeah,
I was
no,
like, "Hey,
literally.
that's wrinkled." Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, how's that going to look when you're older? Probably wrinkly, but I didn't expect it to get stretched the fuck out."
Yeah, I didn't think the skull on the back of my arm would start to look bloated. Like, what do you want from me?
Cool alien skull. Like that's a human skull.
Oh man, plus size skeletal tattoos. Okay, yeah. So that's when you're a teenager, you are, kind of doing the whole manorexia thing. So when was the concept of dieting first introduced to you? So I'm curious, like, did you grow up in a house where it was like eat, 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 clear your plate, or was it more like we watch what we eat in this house?
No, it was very much so like there's a glass of milk and a glass of water on the table. Whatever grandma made for dinner, we're all eating it.
Yeah.
Um, enough for seconds. We never like went hungry in that house. But as I got older, like I would like skip dinner or like I wouldn't be home and then I just would forget to eat. Like I wouldn't eat. Or like once a night I would go down and make myself like a tiny snack or just
Yeah.
pick up the leftovers and then that's all that sustained me for years.
Right. So when it came to disordered eating, do you think that was something that you like kind of grew out of, or did you make the concerted effort that I have to be more thoughtful about eating?
Well, kids used to tickle me and flick my tits when I was like in elementary school.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing? Are you
Well,
laughing at
I'm
me?
just I'm
You're
just
laughing at my,
imagining
are you,
the nicknames you probably had when
are
like
you
flickle
laughing at
tits.
my are you laughing at my trauma, dude?
If I don't, someone else is gonna.
Yeah. Yeah. So but that was like junior high. And then once I hit high school, like I got a little taller and like it's like, oh, okay. So then you know, we were taking like different kind of martial arts and stuff. We were like anime kids and we were all beating the shit out of each other in the woods.
Yeah.
So just a a very active like teenage years, but was pretty chubby little tot.
I hear
Definitely
you. Yeah.
yeah. So that kind of like I don't ever want to be that again, and
Right.
then it happened. It's always been a
Yeah.
roller coaster with my weight.
Right. Oh, so you've always gone up and down.
Up and down, never what you really want, but like you look at yourself in some pictures and you're like, Jesus Christ. Yeah,
Yeah.
no more side profiles.
Yeah, it kind of goes both ways. Where I look at a photo of myself and I go, Jesus Christ, I looked like that. And then I go, oh my God, Jesus Christ, I looked like that. Like I thought I looked so bad, but I look so good. Is that something that you've experienced in your past of like looking at a photo of yourself, feeling like you were so fat, and now you look back and it's like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Yes, definitely. There's like a picture with like me and like all my coworkers, and I look 10 months pregnant. And I was like, oh, but then that was when I had my kid, uh, I got all that, I guess they call it like sympathy weight. Um, you know what
Oh,
I mean? You don't want your lady to say, honey, do I look fat? I'm like, no, baby, we look fat.
yeah. So when your girl got pregnant, it was like we're both gonna have pregnancy cravings.
Yeah, yeah. And we were, she was eating for two and I was eating for six.
Yeah, yeah.
Just stress eating.
Yeah, because it is so stressful bringing, your child is now what, 3?
Just turned 3.
Just turned 3. Okay. So, I mean, you're still in the thick of it.
Yeah, he's got like abs. So like, it's like, oh fuck you, dude. You baby abs? How?
Oh my God, you're jealous of your baby's ripped body.
Yeah, he's the man of the house now. He started tickling me and flicking my tits. He called me flickle tits. Yeah.
Oh, but he's like, go cry about it, you little emo.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, black your eyes, you little bitch.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so did you notice when your is it your girlfriend that got pregnant? Uh was it like, okay, we're gonna have a baby. do you think you started eating more at like the pregnancy stage, or was it like he's here and now like I'm really stressed? Like take me through that a little bit.
I think it was through the whole time. Like, I never really watched what I ate.
Yeah.
That was, I eat what I want when I want. Um, no restrictions. So like, especially with her cravings, it would be a lot of takeout,
Right.
and we would order like a bunch of different things. Like our orders were so expensive because we just wanted a bunch of different flavors.
Yeah.
You know what I
Bunch of
mean? And
different
then
comfort.
yeah, I was like, well, I want salty comfort and I need sweet comfort, some spicy comfort. Yeah, so just that, and of course, drinking on top of that, to anything to really like disassociate.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know, you put like a piece of cheesecake in your mouth and just fucking this part of your brain is just firing on all cylinders, and yeah, you just turn into you're on a cloud.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how it's like, because disassociating with food is like the more I am trying to be mindful about what I'm eating, because like if I tell myself every day I'm gonna eat salad, that'll work for 3 days tops. And
Mhm.
then like I'm blacking out on like some 7th Street, you know?
Yeah.
And that really is what it is. It's like you don't even have to be drinking to like to to be disassociating and like getting out of yourself. And like, oh man, I don't know what that would be like to have a kid and have that stress. And it's like, oh, this cheesecake is just making me not worry about the electric bill or whatever.
Whew. Yeah. Yeah, cheesecake doesn't keep the lights on.
I know. Oh gosh. So it wasn't even like before having kids, you like, had a schedule that you really adhered to. You're like, you were just kind of living life, and then all of a sudden, boom, baby.
Yeah, so now we're really piling on the pounds.
Yeah. So does your kid like, do you notice any like food aversions that he has that you're like, oh, that was just like me, like I hated peas or whatever the fuck?
Well, I'm looking at we got Chinese food for dinner.
Uh-huh.
Um, and lately he's hasn't been eating the insides of the dumplings. He just eats the outer. He just eats the outer shell.
I think we're getting a visual.
Yeah, it's not shit.
Yep.
It's there's I thought it was shit, but I was like, but no, just the innards of dumplings. He just
Yeah,
won't eat anything filled.
as a new parent, I'm sure you play that game a lot. Like, is it shit or is it dumpling innards? Is it, mashed up food?
Yeah. And so, yeah, sometimes you're like, I've never seen that color before. There's no way that shark shit.
Oh my God. Totally. So, did you growing up, were you like a picky eater or would you eat anything?
um, well, I grew up biracial, so my dad's black, my mom's white,
Okay.
and culturally, but I guess some people on my dad's side of the family are like fresh off the boat African. So my mom would tell me stories about like, yeah, when you were a kid, you used to eat like peanut butter and fish head sandwiches, and I was like, I should call DIFUS on you immediately. You let me eat fish head and peanut butter sandwiches, like you loved them as a kid. And I was like, you belong in jail, woman.
That's so funny. Damn. So, were both your mom and dad present in the house growing up? And so, like, was that something where like, because I'm curious with having a white mom and a black dad, like the the culture of food in the house, like, when did it become, whitewashed, I guess?
Well, yeah, they separated when I was very young.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so when we grew up with our lived with our grandparents growing up,
Oh,
so
okay.
it was just Irish. It was a potatoes and meat every night, potatoes and meat in
Yeah,
some form or the other. Uh,
totally. Yeah.
great
So
fuck,
you,
great cook though. That Irish woman could cook.
yeah. It's interesting. I had an Irish grandmother and she could not cook. I think it's because she smoked so many cigarettes that like her taste buds were just like zapped. And so
Yeah.
she would make cabbage and it would just be like the flavor was sucked out of this cabbage. And you know, it's so funny. Like there used like I thought I hated Brussels sprouts. I thought Brussels sprouts were disgusting. And then I had ones that were cooked properly, not necessarily with like bacon and balsamic, just like actually roasted Brussels sprouts from an oven with some olive oil. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I can't believe I hated these things. And it's like because the person that made them made it really bad. So it's good you had a grandma that cooked well.
Yeah. Yeah, she was married 3 times, so I guess she figured it out.
She honed her skills. She
Yeah,
honed her skills.
she had 5 kids and 3 shithead husbands. So
Yeah. So that's a hearty diet, you know, growing up with meat and potatoes
oh
um
yeah.
all
Oh
the
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Uh, and they were all bigger too.
Uh-huh.
They were all yeah, my grandma was a big Irish lady. My mom was a big Irish lady my whole life until she had the chemo stuff and that kind of
Okay.
now that's a diet right there. That
Yeah.
I remember my mom was like a big lady my whole life, and on her new lease on life, she like started doing these like Instagram like these. She, she's like doing thought pictures on the beach now, and I'm like, Mom, put the blanket back on.
It's literally it's like if this is the cards I'm being dealt, I'm gonna do what works for me. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
chemo sucked, but
and
now
I
I
was like,
have a
wow.
new body.
Yeah, my mom beat cancer, and now she's a thought.
It's like, and like, what a good retort because now, anytime you see somebody that everyone has always ever known as being fat and now they're skinny, it's like, okay, Ozempic. And it's like, excuse me, I am not on Ozempic. I needed chemotherapy. Really, really shoot the haters down.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's so funny.
Oh, man. So, how old were you when your mom got sick?
I was in my 20s. I
Okay.
was still in my
And
20s. So it was like a whole lifetime of
it
just
was forever ago. Okay. So do you think your mom getting sick was that something where it's like, okay, I went through chemotherapy and now she you said she had a new lease on life. Like did she start eating healthier? Like what happened after and the after effects?
oh yeah, her whole life drastically changed. I mean, our family's always had, substance issues and stuff like that, but now like everyone's just calmed down. It's kind of great.
They
It's
get
kind of
slower
great.
in their old age.
Yeah, there was like a period of time.
Yeah, right. So if you sorry, can you still hear me? I feel like our connection's getting a little fuzzy. Oh no, I think we're having some connection issues.
Oh,
Hey, can you
no,
hear
you're
me?
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think
You're moving
we
again. Okay.
yeah, I was speaking and then I couldn't hear you, so I didn't know if you could hear me. But
Yeah, I could hear you. My internet's just really shitty down here.
got it, got it. Okay, cool. So I don't it you were saying how you know, basically like your older relatives have slowed down in their old age when it comes to, you know, drinking and stuff. So growing up in the house, was there a lot of drinking happening?
Yeah, but we just thought it was normal. We didn't notice it as anything
Totally.
like different. I don't think anyone was like abused or anything from it. They were just lushes who like to party. Uh,
Right.
in retrospect, they were shitheads, complete shitheads.
You look back and you're like, oh, that wasn't normal.
Yeah, it was like that. I think that was crack. Like, I think I found crack in the basement once.
So like when you're like, you know, you said you grew up with with your grandparents. Did your mom live in the same house with your grandparents?
For a little bit, and then you know, life
Right.
happens. So it was
Got it.
just us and the grandparents for a little bit.
So you were with your grandparents and were your grandparents drinking?
No, no,
Oh,
my
okay.
my grandma had had enough of all of substance abuse after like what she went through with her husbands and
Got it. Got it. Okay.
watching it destroy her kids for years. Uh,
Yeah. So the only reason why I'm asking is because when there's a lot of chaos happening and we're youths and we don't know, you like you just said, like we thought it was normal looking back, they, those shitheads, like for me, what I did is food was my drug. Like I couldn't do crack, so I did food. So is that something you feel like, as a younger kid, like back when you were chubbier and, kids in elementary school were, as you said, flicking your tits, do you think food was like sort of a vice?
oh yeah, I was gorging.
Gorging.
Just eating as much as I could, all at once, and yeah, then like passing out immediately. I'll do a
Mm,
lot of that.
feels so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it's my favorite thing in the world. And then you wake up and it's still there, and you think, I'm
Little
gonna.
snack.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you think it was way worse when you were a kid, or do you think like even now as an adult with like the stress of a baby and having a young family, do you think it's something where you still eat and then pass out, or are you more mindful of it?
I'm a little more mindful of it now.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to like quit smoking.
Yeah.
I don't know this. I heard this guy once say that like if you want to quit anything, you got to stop making it your identity.
Mm,
And I was like,
pretty good.
like I don't know, like makes me look cool. Like smoking in a glass of whiskey is like the coolest thing in the world to me. I've always
Right.
like aspired for like that kind of like swag,
Yeah.
and until I figure out that hey, no, that's not that cool, uh, I'll never change that behavior. Which I guess the first step is acknowledging it. Now I just
Yeah.
got to try
Yeah.
to put in the work.
Because smoking and a glass of whiskey actually is cool when you're your age, because when you're like a 50, 60-year-old doing that, you still think you're cool, only now like you look and smell sour. So it started cool till it wasn't cool.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like different priorities now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The smoking thing is tough because back when I was a smoker, it was the ultimate social crutch. I didn't do it to like look or feel cool, but it did help me have conversations with men or, girls that I probably maybe wouldn't have been friends with before, that I got to, because it's like, oh, I'm going to go outside for a smoke break.
Yeah, yeah. That's where all the cool kids are.
That's where the cool kids are.
That's where the cool.
Absolutely. I remember in college, I was like really sheltered. I went to Catholic school my whole life, and I go out to college and it's like, all right, I'm alone now. Like I'm a human in the world without like parental supervision. And there were sororities on my campus, so I like was going bopping around the different sororities, like seeing what was up. And this girl who I'm literally maid of honor in her wedding in September, like we've been best friends ever since. But like we just looked at each other and thought like I need to hate her. Like I hate her. Like she was wild and loud and I was like quiet or whatever. And then we go outside after this like sorority meeting or whatever. And she goes, dude, I had been calling you church girl. And then you pull out a pack of Marble Reds and start smoking in my face. And I was like, okay, all right, maybe I can work with this girl. So cigarettes brought me to one of my best friends.
That rules.
Yeah. So smoking's cool. And you should.
Smoking saves friendships, dude.
Oh man. Okay. So let's see. What else do I have here? Um, when it when it came to like, did you compare yourself to like your siblings, or as far as like, achieving academics or sports or anything, or were you kind of someone that always went their own way?
I always kind of did my own thing. I mean, I played in bands forever. I was always in, like that scene. Like I tried
Yeah.
playing football. Uh, I did like I tried out for like the middle school football team, and
Hmm.
I think I lasted a week, like 1 week. And I came back to my mom. I was like, "Ma, there's got to be an easier way to get girls, dude. This sucks. It sucks." She's like, "Well, you're gonna have to kiss some boys." And I'm like, all right, let's play music.
Yep. 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 Totally. Did like, I'm curious, do guys ever, and like when you were younger, did it ever come up about like how you felt about your body or like, oh man, like I feel like I need to lose weight? Because with girls, it came up all the time.
Guys really only cared about one part of their body.
Right. And
Really.
that, as long as that's
That's
working.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
like that's the only one.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I don't know. There was always, as long as you weren't the fattest kid, you
Right.
were okay. Um,
Right.
oh, the poor fattest kid.
Oh, the dreaded,
Yeah,
the
the
dreaded.
oh, he got it.
Yeah. And,
His,
but,
his name,
sorry, go ahead.
his name was Stinky Wetzel. Oh,
Oh, no. Oh, he
I
really got it.
yeah, imagine being like so fat that like we can't even call you fat. You have to be stinky now.
Yeah. And now,
There's no
now I'm thinking of a stinky Wetzel's pretzels.
oh, I got a Billy Madison that guy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, hey man, I was a real piece of shit in middle school to you, man. I'm sorry.
He
Like he was,
probably, yeah, maybe he looks at people that bullied him when they were little skinny fucks and he's like, oh, they got dad bods now. Who's
yeah,
stinky now?
yeah. You're changing. Yeah, you got shit all over your hands from changing diapers. Yeah, you're stinky Simpson, dude. No,
Oh no, Stinky Simpson.
no. They used to call
Um,
me. I got same shirt Simpson. That's what they called me. I had this Dragon Ball Z shirt that I really liked, and I wore it every day.
oh, you had swag. You
Yeah,
were you were
same shirt
swaggy.
Simpson.
But, I mean, look, I'm not trying to be an armchair therapist here, but there is
Oh.
something about the sameness that is so comforting to kids. And I only know this because I'm very
Oh yeah.
therapized. I've been in a lot of therapy. And so when I look at like how I always wore the same thing on dress down days, and because otherwise I wore a uniform to school, the sameness was so comforting because everything was always so chaotic at home. And so it makes sense that you would wear the same Dragon Ball Z shirt, unless you think I'm completely, pulling that out of thin air.
uh no, yeah. I mean, some semblance of control. My life was spiraling at that point. And I
Yeah.
mean, but at that age you don't really know.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? You have other things to worry about.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like what's for
But
lunch tomorrow?
yeah. 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 And will someone eventually touch my dick? Like, really?
That was a big one.
Yeah.
That was a big one. It happened early and then not again for a very long time.
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Um,
Sorry, I just had a flat fucking I was like, oh
tell
my
me
god.
what happened. What just
No, no,
happened?
I just like went back to that time. I was like, Jesus Christ, I haven't thought about any of that in forever.
You had like a reverse that so Raven moment. You were brought back to a
Yeah.
time.
That was so Raven.
Raven was the girl's name or the boy's. Um, so did your weight actually come into as a factor of like, oh, I want to get girls? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of hot, you know, when biracial kid, good skin.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like
exotic.
never got pimples or anything, and like a mostly white school. So,
Yeah,
uh,
Allentown.
yeah, so I was okay. I mean, if you were into that type, you know, if skater emo boy was like the thing, then like yeah,
Yeah,
I did okay. I did okay. So I was never really I was like skinny, not like super in shape or anything. Didn't really like exercise much. We were outside a lot, but
right.
it's not like we were practicing for anything.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Did you go to college?
No, no. I went to bartending school, which was a 2 week course. Got the flu. Never graduated. I never graduated high school. Didn't graduate bartending school. Did Went to the Paul Mitchell Beauty Academy. Didn't graduate. Yeah, I have a difficult time finishing things.
Right, right. I mean, hey,
Oh,
you
you
made a
froze again.
kid.
No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, that's better.
You made a kid. That was pretty good. You finished that.
Yeah, I guess, but
Um,
I'm gonna finish this Chinese food.
yeah,
I can do
yeah,
that.
totally, totally. Yeah, you're really good at finishing your plate.
Hmm.
Um, what was happening that you did? I'm so curious. How did you not graduate high school? I must know.
I was too busy skipping school and hooking up with girls, and smoking cigarettes, smoking weed. Um, but I was still like heavily involved in the drama department.
Uh-huh.
So like, I was like, I don't care about any of this other shit. So I would just skip school all day, hang out at my buddy's place, and then come back to school after school for play practice. Yeah, and they were like, "Dude, you can't do that." And I was like,
Yeah.
"But this is the only thing I care about." And they're like, "Yeah, sorry. Why don't you just?" Because I had been suspended, I've been expelled from so many different. I was a class clown, definitely. Anything for the
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
anything for the bit.
Do you think as an adult you were like you look back and you're like, "Oh, maybe I had like ADD or something."
They tested me, and I did really well on the test.
Oh,
Yeah, so I was like, I don't know what to do. They
yeah.
didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's one of those things where it's like, because I know we live in New York and I talk to these, my friends are getting pregnant and figuring out what to do with their kids. I mean, you're a dad, but I was an adult when I learned what a Montessori school was. Are you familiar with these? Montessori school?
it's a Montessori school.
So Montessori school is like a private school where you put the kid in, and then instead of it being like this is the math curriculum, this is the English curriculum, this is the science curriculum, the kid kind of you focus on where the kid gravitates to. And it sounds funny to me. It always sounds weird because it's like then I wouldn't even touch math or science or anything. Like, but kind of what you're describing, if you had something like that when you were a kid, it's like, okay, you could have been like the greatest theater student ever, if you had sort of like the ability to have the educational focus be a little bit less standard. Um, but no, they just said you get
Nope.
kicked out of high school instead.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I think we've had enough.
Yeah. Damn, I've never heard of a student being turned away from being able to participate in plays because they weren't showing up to school.
I got the role of the wolf. I was the wolf in Into the Woods, and I was
Yeah.
so excited. And then they said, "Nah, you can't."
They said you can't play in the big game.
Nope. And whatever. I don't need this high school. I'm better than this high school.
I'm going to go
You'll,
start a band.
yeah. You'll regret this. And they were like, "Excuse me." Like, wait, I didn't mean the last part. No, no, not the.
God, yeah.
Yeah, I got in trouble for threatening some girls before in fifth grade. Her name was Candace. She was my first like girlfriend, fifth grade. Um, and one day her and her friend Jess were just calling me fatty, and then I said, "I'll fucking kill you."
They were just trying to neg you, and you were like, I will
Yeah, and
murder you.
yeah, I was like, "Shut up, I'll kill you." And it just happened to be like 2 weeks after Columbine, so they
I
were
was going to
taking shit.
say Columbine is somewhere in this timeline.
Yeah, so this is that, and like I just got like a PlayStation, and this video game Silent Hill came out, and I
Uh,
had the strategy guide in my desk, and like the first
oh,
couple
no.
pages is just like weapons and then like ways to kill your enemies, and they're like, this kid was that I think one of his toys went off.
Oh, I didn't hear it. You're good.
Okay. I thought
Does
I was
that
going crazy.
happen? Where like that's like some like scary movie stuff where like you must be haunted just by the sound of toys randomly going off. That would trigger me so hard.
Yeah, just you're like, oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Like ah.
Balls don't bounce themselves.
These new dolls look great. They're all just blinking at me.
Oh no, it's Megan.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, what I was gonna say, because as you were talking about this, I'm thinking about Columbine, because Columbine in the late 90s, early 2000s, and video games was like the early aughts satanic panic of the 70s. Like there, everyone thought that, if your young son plays video games, he's gonna go and, be a mass murderer. And so for you to have that in your school desk, it was probably like A plus B equals C, and we have danger here. Meanwhile, it's just kids that like don't know what flirting is.
Yes, yeah. They put it in an evidence bag. I was like, what the? No, no, I was expelled. They took it very seriously.
Wow, you got expelled for that.
They called it terroristic threats.
Wow. So how many there really was Bush era um kind of shenanigans happening. What was How many schools have you been expelled from?
Uh, two, technically three if you count the last high school as the last one. When I transferred to another school, and then they found out what happened at the other school. Then they kicked me out of that school and put me in a different school.
Oh, they moved you around like a priest.
Yeah. I mean, I had also dialed 911 from a classroom phone, and then like hung up, and then like I was. This is how good of an actor I was. I bawled in my assistant principal's office and said I didn't do this, and
Wow.
he's like, I believe you. He's
Wow.
like, I believe you. And then in front of the whole school board, they just slide a picture of my fingerprints all over the phone. Because they fingerprinted me, because they several students told them I did it.
Right.
So they brought me in and processed me. Uh, and then they slid the assistant principal slides the picture across the desk, and he's like, "You son of a bitch."
Oh
And I was like,
man. That was a day he learned to never trust again.
yeah. And then somebody ended up murdering a dog, and they thought that was me too. But I was no, that wasn't me.
Oh.
That one really wasn't me. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, you're not a psychopath. I'm sitting having a
yeah,
conversation with you. You're not a dog murderer.
no, like they came to like interview me. Like I was just into like the vampire, like goth emo stuff for like to
Yeah,
get girls, dude.
the
Like that was
aesthetic. Yeah.
yeah, that was it. But yeah, there was like somebody like drew like satanic symbols, like in the dog blood and everything like that. So when the cops came to interview me, like I have my dog on my lap.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And you're like, next victim.
yeah. I was like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So yeah, but somebody gave them my name for that. Somebody said it was probably him.
You had a bit of a reputation.
Yeah, it's fucking saying so cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's so shitty. That is so shitty.
Yeah.
And the thing that is like really popping out to me is just how litigious your schools were. Like, God, fingerprints and being processed all for calling 911. It's not like you called in a bomb
Uh,
threat.
well, I mean, when somebody dials 911 from a classroom phone in a school and then hangs up, that's an immediate emergency.
Right. So
Like
they pulled
anything could be happening in that school.
yeah,
So it was like ambulances, police, fire trucks. Like they didn't know
right.
what it was,
And you were just doing it
and
for the thrill of it
everybody
all.
and yeah, everyone evacuated, and I was like, I did this,
Oh no. Did
and then cried like I didn't. Maybe
Yeah.
I was a psychopath.
Well, I was just about to ask, like, when you were crying, was it real tears of like, I'm like doing this to get out, like this is a matter of survival, me crying to get out of it? Or was it just like, okay, I know how to get out of it. I'm gonna turn the tears on. Like, how much of it was you like emotionally being like anxious now that you just fucked up? And how much was it just being like, I'm just gonna get out of this because I know how to get out of it?
I used the nerves of me being anxious for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think I could turn it on like that. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
The pressure was on, and I was like, I have to make them believe me.
Yeah, yeah. Because it was just it's just a mistake. Like you're describing these things that had these harsh punishments, and it was all just mistakes.
Yeah, but there were so many mistakes, and it was just after so many years of you know principals and assistant principals like dealing with my bullshit. They just
Yeah. So what happens with grandma when you go home? Is she beating the shit out of you?
Wait, what?
Like what happens when you act like this and you have to go to grandma's to your house? Like are the is the authority figure in your life beating you or screaming at you, like grounding you? What's happening?
Of course there was groundings and stuff, but it was very easy to sneak out of my house.
Okay.
So
You were
it
running amok.
yeah, the punishments never. I mean, we were like in the sticks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my country is really like not much to do.
Right.
Um, yeah. No, I was pretty elusive with punishments, and at that point, my mom wasn't even in the picture. So like I had
Right.
no parent. It was just us with our grandparents, and they were kind of out of it most of the time.
They were
Very
your
active.
legal, yeah, they were your legal
Yeah,
guardians, but like,
yeah,
yeah.
they were still grandmama, papa.
Yeah, you had no fear of authority.
Uh, my pop up could scare the shit out of me. He could, but only on a handful of times. Uh,
Right.
I remember as a child, I was playing video games with my cousin Donnie, and he kept cursing, and I pop up came in the room, picked Donnie up. I followed them out, and I just watched him take him downstairs, and like I don't think I've ever seen my cousin again. Like,
He's the one
I
that
haven't,
killed that dog.
yeah, I haven't seen him since.
Okay. So it was balanced. It was balanced, but you also were just like, I'm gonna sneak out and
Yeah,
do
I mean,
whatever.
it was always for the bits. I always did it because I
Mhm.
thought it would be funny. Like I don't think I was never
Yeah.
doing like violent shit besides, telling those girls I'd kill them. But I'm not gonna
Right.
what? Like, bitch,
Right.
like I don't know. Eminem just came out. Like, bitch, I'm gonna kill you.
Right, exactly, exactly. You were just, kind of like upping the ante in the way that you always do. How like you,
Yeah,
it kids always elevate it for the bit.
yeah, hyperbole.
Right, exactly.
Like you guys just don't get satire. Take me out in cuffs.
Your Joker phase.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So,
Yeah.
have you dealt with things like anxiety and depression?
Yeah. I mean, depression, sure. Anxiety. Um, I'm not entirely sure. Like, I know what that is. Like, what it. Uh, like the feeling of like before you're like do before you hit the stage,
Right.
right? Like that feeling is necessary for me. Like if I don't feel nervous before I like go on, um, I'm going to bomb. Like it
Mm,
never fails. It never fails because there's nothing for me to like overcome. So like
interesting.
that anxiousness is like I use it differently now. So like anxious in the way like of having a panic attack. Uh, I'm not entirely sure. Like I feel like that's what it is.
Right.
So I when I hear people say like, I'm really anxious, I've had panic attacks and stuff like it's like I think I do too. I just use them different.
Right. Right. So anxiety is not necessarily something that plagues you or is something that is present. But I mean, it's there when, like you said, when you need it, like when you're about to go on stage and you need to have that feeling to overcome. Do you feel like do you do you ever deal with like depressive episodes?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
yeah.
You're a downer guy.
Yeah. I mean, not so much anymore because I'm choosing not to believe in it.
Okay. It's like I'm
Uh
too busy to be depressed kind of thing.
Depression is a young man's game, I think.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I'm too old to like so what? I still got to get the fuck up and go to work. you know. Um but yeah,
Depression
no, I
can feel like a luxury.
yeah, it really is. I mean, but like all the time, I've been hospitalized a bunch of times. My
Mm,
family calls it holiday. I was like, taking a holiday?
really?
Yeah, we call it
Yeah.
holiday. Yeah.
It,
But that's just like a history of mental illness,
uh-huh. So do you think that having a kid is really what kind of got you out of that? Or when did like the hospitalization stop?
The last time I was 23, 24,
Okay.
something like that. Um, and that was to also scapegoat like some other things that like I was doing pretty good. I had like this long-term girlfriend at the time, and I was just getting fucked up, doing coke, and like cheating on her all the time. And then
Yeah.
she ended up finding out, and then she started hooking up with this other guy, and I was like, and then I went nuts.
Yeah. Right.
But that's what
It's
drugs and
situational
alcohol.
depression.
Yes. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm to be honest, ever since fucking he came, I don't think I've been truly depressed as I
Yeah.
have been.
Totally. I mean, absolutely. I've heard it said that babies come with a loaf of bread under their arms. Um as far as like what they bring into your life, whether that be financial, because now it's like you have to step up to the plate and make money for, to support this new creature. And I think that also um is the same for like obviously love and joy. It's like you have this new I'm not a parent, but I imagine it's like this new chamber of your heart has been opened up that you didn't have before. And so
Yeah,
it's not surprising to me that ever since your little guy came around, like you haven't felt that kind of depression, and you're also not partying and doing coke and being this crazy guy anymore.
I didn't say any of that. No, no, I definitely like. I don't think I've done coke since I like maybe twice since I turned 30.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
and I'm
usually the
36.
the yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, my heart hurts.
It's like
Yeah, it's I never thought I'd be able to like give a shit truly about like another human being. You know, pretty. I mean, as a performer too, like you're pretty self-centered as a human.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like shine time for me.
absolutely. Yeah, it's like all eyes on me. I want this crowd to love me.
Yeah, and I was like, check him out, dude.
Yeah. Oh God, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we're wrapping up here, but as we're
Nice.
talking, I'm curious, like when it comes to performing, you said you have a little bit of nervousness. Are you at all thinking about how you look like when you're up there? Because like you're not only just like standing up there performing stand up, a lot of the times you have your guitar, you're doing the musical comedy thing. And like, I always think about how that's just so many components. Like, you got to be playing guitar, you got to be thinking of your jokes and saying them. And like, when I'm just on stage with the microphone, I'm thinking, like, fuck, I think my fly is down, my hair is out of place. Like, oh man, does like my stomach look weird in this shirt? Like, so I'm always thinking about the way that I look. Is that something that you think about, or you're just like able to kind of
Uh,
put that aside?
well, the guitar covers my belly,
Yeah, that
and
is very good. Yeah,
and my fly is definitely down.
yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to look stupid. I used to wear like suits and play guitar. It was a whole thing.
It was a
If
choice.
having two gimmicks, you're a suit guitar guy. Like, uh-huh. Like,
You
okay.
just you just look like a slappy dummy. Just like what's happening on
It's like I hate prop comedy.
Oh man. Well, that's good. That's great. Um well, listen, I think sometimes musical comedy can get a bad rap, but yours is really good. I have to say, listen, I'm a fan. I'm a
Woo!
fan.
I
Yeah.
needed that
Good.
today.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to come on to the show and give us a little bit about your background and talk about I haven't heard the term manorexia in so long, so that was a nice little jaunt down memory lane. So thanks for that. Do you have, if there's anything else you want to say, do it now. Otherwise, where can people find you?
um, no, you can check me out on Instagram at OJ Simpson, OH underscore J Simpson, just like the show, or murder. Um, yeah, I got a bunch of songs up on there. Check them out.
Amazing. Awesome. Guys, all of Jay's stuff is going to be in the show notes of the show in the description. So check that out. And until next week, I'll talk to you later. Bye.